Wake up to Wink. Live in Port Charlotte. More local in Cape Coral. The team more people choose for local news. Weekday mornings on Wink. What does it take to be the news leader? At Wink, it starts with listening, hearing what matters, digging deeper, standing up for what's right, because this is our home. Listen first, dig deep, do right. Wink, first, fair, everywhere. Covering Southwest Florida, the team that's first, fair, everywhere. This is Wink News at 7:30.
Tonight on Wink News, a new proposal from the president could impact who gets to buy single-family homes. Wink News speaks with real estate agents. And water worries for Fort Myers Beach. The advisory now in place that could impact weekend beach plans. Plus, Wink investigates the case of a DeSoto County woman who finds herself back behind bars after she pleaded guilty to dozens of animal cruelty charges. Well, thanks for joining us for Wink News at 7:30. I'm Russ McCaskey. We have had a warm stretch recently for January, so when can we expect a cool down? Weather Authority meteorologist Greg Rule joins us now with the very latest. Greg, give us the outlook.
Well, Russ, no warmer conditions are going to be decreased this upcoming weekend, because I'm keeping things on the toasty side. Low to mid 80s tomorrow, Sunday, mild morning lows, low to mid 60s. This is on average about 7 to 10 degrees warmer than where we should be for both our morning lows and our afternoon highs. Now, as of right now, the Doppler confirming area-wide. It's a calm, it's a quiet, it's a comfortable and a dry Friday evening with outside numbers steady in the mid-70s. Let's break it down over the next couple of hours, gradually dipping into the upper 60s after midnight tonight. However, I am tracking our next cold front. When does it arrive, and when's the next opportunity for some showers? We desperately need the rain. Russ, all those answers and my 10-day coming up.
Forward to hearing more about that. Greg, thanks. Well, what started in a quiet driveway in Collier County ended with 5 state troopers attempting a pit maneuver to try to stop one of 2 stolen cars from the same man. And you can see the video here. Some 5 troopers trying to stop the driver of a stolen Hyundai as they swerve in and out of the lanes. They even rammed a cruiser, but that's not all. Authorities also found a second car stolen out of that homeowner's garage not far from the home. That homeowner used a Starline tracker to try to ping the car's location. Then law enforcement was able to track them down.
It's really, you just, first shock, of course. Then you kind of go into desperation and despair mode, like, oh man, I'm toast. Now I got to buy 2 cars.
Well, nobody was hurt during the police chase. The victims have one of the cars back at this time. We are working to confirm the identity of the man arrested, and once we do, we will let you know. Developing now, the city of Marco Island confirms the Marco Island police chief has been cleared in a criminal investigation. Chief Tracy Frazano and other Marco officers were accused of falsifying gun training records to meet accreditation standards. Separately, Wink News spoke with a former Marco lieutenant who says he found firearm training and certification records that were falsified, and he's suing the agency for defamation. But as far as any criminal issues, FDLE made no recommendation about whether charges should be filed, and the state attorney has closed the investigation. The attorney who filed that lawsuit says it will move forward. A proposal from President Donald Trump could impact who gets to buy single-family homes, especially younger buyers struggling to break into the market. He says he wants to stop large institutional investors from purchasing more single-family houses, arguing that corporations make home ownership less affordable. The idea has already drawn some strong reactions. Wink News anchor Jillian Haggerty spoke to real estate agents about it in Cape Coral. Jillian, thanks. Collier County deputies have arrested a man accused of making threats against agents. According to the Sheriff's Department, 18-year-old Holden Manning from Naples faces charges for making written threats to kill and planning to do an act of terrorism. Deputies received a tip about a social media post calling for a murder investigation, of immigration enforcement agents, I should say, which led to the arrest. Now, Manning is currently booked in the Collier County Jail. If you plan to visit the beach this weekend, you may want to stay out of the water at Lynn Hall Memorial Park on Fort Myers Beach. A water quality advisory is now in effect. News Jacobs shows us why. Haley, thanks. County woman finds herself back behind bars. She pleaded guilty to dozens of charges that include confining animals without sufficient food and water, forging a vet certificate, cruelty to animals, and fraud. We first told you about this case back in 2021. Now, 5 years later, it's closed. Wink Investigates reporter Olivia Jean has the new details in the case. Olivia, thanks. We are less than 24 hours away from a local extravaganza of art and traffic, too. The Cape Coral Art Fest kicks off tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and the roads will be a canvas of closures and detours. Cape Coral Parkway will be closed from Del Prado Boulevard to Coronado Parkway. Closures will start January 9th at 5:30 p.m. and will remain closed until 9 p.m. Sunday, January 11th. Residents attending the festival are encouraged to arrive early, follow detour signage, and use designed parking areas. Up next, new details emerge in the Cape Coral jewelry heist, who called police, and how surveillance footage helped lay out what happened. And a father faces a judge today for a gun found in his son's backpack. What she had to say about the situation.
Is this signal causing accidents? Monday on Wink.
What does it take to be the news leader? Start by being local. The only locally owned news station in Southwest Florida. With the largest team, the hustle to get it first, and the know-how to get it right. It takes experience and dedication. So whenever you need us, wherever you are, we're there to bring you the story. That's what it takes to cover news like Wink. First, fair, everywhere.
Boy, it looks like it's going to be a great weekend. Gorgeous today. Hot.
Hot. I mean, capital HOT with a couple of exclamation points. I mean, we were only a few shy of tying record heat, and that's kind of been the theme of the last couple of days where, I mean, mid-70s is where we should be. It hasn't happened. All thanks to high pressure. Check out the official numbers today coming out of Page Field. 65 our morning low, 54 is the norm, 86 the afternoon high. Too shy of tying that record heat, 88 set back in 2013. 75 is where we should be. And it wasn't just us here locally, Lee County, also our friends to the north, Charlotte, our friends down to the south, Collier, Naples, too shy of their record, 86. Punta Gorda, you were only one shy of hitting your record high, 87. And notice the year, yeah, you think this date and time in 2013 was a bit toasty? Yeah, we certainly were. Once again, 75 is our daily average afternoon high across our region. The Doppler confirming we are bone dry. I don't see any change late tonight, tomorrow morning. So any weather issues that you have tonight, well, they're not going to be bad because temperatures right now, they're feeling fantastic. Only in the low to mid 70s for most of us here in Southwest Florida. And we're likely going to bottom out only in the low to mid 60s tomorrow morning. Once again, 54 is where we should be. Tack on a solid 7, 8, 9 degrees on top of that. So it'll be a mostly clear but a mild morning ahead as you head out the door on your early start of the weekend. Maybe a few passing clouds from time to time. I expect more sunshine than cloud cover, albeit it's going to be a nice, lovely, but yeah, you guessed it right, another warm afternoon. Nearly 10 degrees above that average of 75. I'm forecasting 84 Fort Myers, Lehigh Acres, Babcock Ranch, upper 70s and lower 80s across our immediate coastline areas. And the reason why we've been so warm lately, high pressure stationed sandwich right on top of us. This allows our air molecules to compress and fall down to the surface. And as they compress, they warm, they heat up. That's why we've been seeing those above average temperatures. This continues through Sunday, and then we've got a cool front. Unfortunately, it's going to be a dry cold front overnight Sunday and into Monday. Now, it's not going to really bring in cooler temperatures. Basically, what it's going to do is kick us back to near seasonal temperatures for both our morning lows and our afternoon highs. So we're likely going to return to the mid to upper 50s for the lows, and then afternoon highs steady in the mid 70s. But until then, this weekend is going to be comfortably mild, mid 60s for the morning lows, and then mid 50s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is going to be the transitionary period where we've got a second more powerful cold front that's going to slide through the region. And yeah, check out those afternoon highs. This time next week, I'm expecting us to stay stuck in the 60s for our afternoon highs. Now, this is Wednesday into Thursday of mid to late next week as a powerful cold front will slide through, giving a good chance for scattered rain, maybe even 1 or 2 rumbles of thunder. Then as that cold front pushes south, it's going to pull in a cooler and a less humid air mass, and that's likely going to be the norm for the entire eastern half of the United States come day 6 through day 10. I'm expecting below average temperatures. Warmer than average tomorrow through Sunday, seasonal Monday, Tuesday, cold front Wednesday into Thursday, good opportunity for some wet weather. Highs next Friday in the upper 60s, and then morning lows gradually turn cold in the upper 40s and low to mid 50s.
Hi, Greg, thanks. Some new details about Tuesday's armed robbery at T.O. Jewelers in Cape Coral. Surveillance cameras caught the robbery as it happened. The wife of one of the owners was watching it happen live. Cape Coral Police Chief Anthony Sizemore said that when the wife saw the robbery taking place on surveillance, she called police. His officers went right to work.
We immediately went to work on this case, developed a suspect, began tracking him, set up on the location, and I can tell you he's in custody.
The Department of Justice says the 52-year-old Abel Sanchez Rivera drove the getaway car in the heist. Agents later found a gun stolen during the robbery inside his home. The DOJ says the other 2 people have not been caught. Rivera faces up to 27 years in prison and is due in court next week. A father whose 5-year-old son went to school with a loaded gun faced a judge today. Staff at Trafalgar Elementary School found that gun inside the child's backpack on Thursday. Now the father, 50-year-old James Wilson, faces charges of child neglect and improper storage of a firearm. Wilson is now held on $75,000 bond for both charges. The judge ordered him to stay away from all elementary schools and no unsupervised visits with his son.
I read the probable cause affidavit, and this is one of those incredibly scary situations that, thank God, did not end up in a worse situation.
Wilson's next court date is February 9th. Wink News will let you know what happens. Driving down Palm Beach Boulevard, you're going to see memorials marking where people have died. 6 new safety beacons should help prevent that, but neighbors say it's taking too long to activate them. So far, just 1 of the safety beacons has been installed, and it's not turned on yet. Drivers call safety on Palm Beach Boulevard a priority.
Because there is a lot of like drunk drivers here and everything, so like they kind of just run people over or they just speed. But I think once they're implemented, that maybe it might cause a little more traffic, but I think overall the safety might be better.
The Florida Department of Transportation says that these pedestrian safety beacons need to undergo testing and final approvals before they can activate them. Distracted driving. 2 new bills, one in the State House, the other in the State Senate, aim to change that here in Florida by banning drivers from holding their phones while behind the wheel. The consequence? $100 fines and points on your driver's license. Camila Pereira shows us how drivers feel about it. Camila, thanks. Straight ahead, how one organization honored local first responders for their public service with an annual awards. The Naples chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution honored local first responders with a ceremony. Dozens of them gathered at the Tiburon Golf Club to receive their awards for public service. The awards honor their outstanding service on the job. This year, multiple Collier County Sheriff's Office deputies received that life-saving award. Congratulations to them. Members of the DeSoto County Sheriff's Office volunteered today to bag some groceries at the Publix in Arcadia. They did it to bring awareness to the 2026 Law Enforcement Torch Run, which benefits the Special Olympics of Florida. They have an official run in DeSoto County coming up on March the 24th. A lot of good things happening in our area.
You know, March 24th, that's a little too far out to have that forecast.
Yeah, that's not a 10-day.
Not a 10-day. But
90, 100 days.
Duly noted. I mean, the torch run, they might as well have that today.
Gorgeous weather, right?
I mean, gorgeous, but...
And it felt like a torch out there.
It felt
was
like
a little
torch.
warm.
Yeah, I mean, 10 degrees above average. Outside right now for your Friday evening plans, you are good to go. No weather worries. worries, as we're comfortable in the low to mid 70s. Dew points as well. We are dry and will stay mainly clear late tonight, tomorrow morning, where we start out mild and mainly clear, low to mid 60s. We return to the mid 80s tomorrow. The warmth remains on Sunday, and then a cold front overnight Sunday to Monday knocks us back down to seasonal, and then Russ, a more powerful cold front Wednesday, Thursday of late next week gives us a better opportunity for some showers return to the area.
Some changes coming. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Corey Lazar and Taylor Petras, weekday mornings on Wink.